Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Today we've got a special guest from Australian block candidate EOS, and that's Ross. How you going, mate?
Morning, mate. A bit early for me in WA, but crypto never sleeps, right?
That's right, and you're a returning guest actually. You're not a new guest. So what's been happening? It's probably been months, maybe nearly a year since we first spoke. So what's been happening in the EOS world?
Well, I can tell you, it's that crypto blockchain time where it's been 6 months since we actually launched the EOS mainnet, but it literally feels like it's been a decade with the things. And there's been so much progression, everything from wallets becoming easier to new exchanges, new listings, and probably the most exciting thing for EOS would be new dApps. And while is there a plethora of dApps that are in motion at the moment or currently being built, EOS definitely seems to be more of a games platform. All of the games dApps are the ones that are being built first and the ones that are being adopted by the token holders.
Yeah, we hear stats about how EOS has got more active users than Ethereum or any other coin. Do you buy into that model? Is this actual real users using dApps?
Yeah, absolutely. At the moment, there are thousands and thousands of users specifically playing gambling dApps, for sure.
Fantastic.
And I mean, even our infrastructure, because we provide front end services for token holders to interact with the blockchain, so API service. And it's not uncommon for us to be getting 1,000 to 1,000, 2,000 requests a second.
Awesome.
Pretty quick.
And there's a few sister chains coming along as well now. We had Warbly on the show the other day.
Yeah, Warbly, fantastic. Financial services network, financial services, KYC and AML permissioned side of blockchain. And of course, we are block producers for Warbly, if you didn't know that. I mentioned that to you before. But just yesterday, Telos activated, and we actually block producers on Telos as well. Telos is obviously another sister chain. It's very similar to mainnet, but it brings a few changes. Notably, it has rotation for the 21st block producer. So anybody that's a backup would still need to actually produce blocks. And it has something called inverse voting, which is pretty interesting, where if you vote for, the more people you vote for, because you can vote for 30 different candidates to be your block producer, the more you vote for up to 30, the more weight and more power your vote actually has. So if you vote for one person, it's very, very small. You get 1% of the potential weight. Yeah. But if you vote for 20 to 30, you get the 100%.
That's interesting. So you guys were very hopeful of maybe even getting that top 21, and as we saw, it ended up being a lot of exchanges and whales end up voting for themselves. So do you think this sister chain phenomenon is going to continue to take off with specific use cases, and all the guys, the grassroots guys like yourselves, are going to try and be block producers for all these sisters chains, and this is taking away from innovation on the main chain, or that's not really a concern at all?
Do you know what I think at the moment is the sister chains are the ones that are a little bit more dynamic and agile. They try new things. And I think a lot of the sister chains ideas would probably end up being adopted back into EOS mainnet. Yeah. If you think about it, EOS mainnet is obviously, it's like the OG, it's the original. Everybody else is certainly at this point a sister or side chain. I don't see it as stealing users. I mean, most of them are actually giving snapshots of original token holders from the original Genesis snapshot onto the new chains, and all the new cool ideas are will probably end up going back to EOS mainnet. But yeah, you're right. In order for you to ensure that you are a company with a healthy revenue, it makes sense to diversify some of the networks that you work on. Warbly, for instance, actually has appointed block producers, so everybody gets paid the same, and you actually had to qualify. We were approached by Dominic and Sam from Warbly to actually be block producers.
It's an interesting dynamic you've just described, and it sort of sounds to me almost like when Litecoin tested SegWit, or when smaller coins try a new feature and then Bitcoin or Ethereum can implement them. So it's kind of like that experimenting test ground before the EOS mainnet may implement different features and so on, because they have had some issues with governance and RAM, and I'd love to get your thoughts on all that.
One of the big changes that's coming to EOS mainnet is the mechanism for having referendums. So the platform's actually been built and it's going to be launched on the 1st of January. And I encourage any token holder to participate in lending your vote through to some of the referendum proposals. So if you didn't know what that was, it's almost like a census for us, for block producers, to understand exactly what the token holders want to happen on the network, whether it be a new constitution or the changes to the worker proposal fund. It's not just block producers going out saying, hey, we'll do this, we'll do this. If anything, you'll find that the block producers who run the network have been very cautious about implementing any changes at all, because they want to make sure that the token holders are happy with it. So referendums will be the mechanism for them to have their voice heard.
Fantastic. And for anyone that's sitting at home that's unfamiliar with how to vote and so on, Scatter is probably the easiest wallet that's regular upgrading. And
yeah, so there are a few standalone wallets. However, Scatter, which just released version 10 at the moment, is the one that integrates to all the other front ends. So it's the wallet that you run in the background, and you'll be able to use web-based front ends or other wallets to connect through to and use your keys. So just remember that the wallet is just the place where your keys are held. It's not actually where your tokens are. Your tokens are always on the blockchain, but your permission keys need to exist somewhere. And yes, Scatter definitely seems to be the benchmark at this point.
So a good analogy for someone at home that might be familiar with MetaMask, how you can go to a lot of different websites and interact with them. It's kind of that same concept where you're interacting with whatever wallet you're using.
It's probably a good segue quickly, because if you've got one of these, a Ledger Nano S, we actually partnered with AltShift Dev, who has got a website for my EOS wallet, where you'll be able to actually register or change your account key through to the key that's actually on your hardware token, and you'll be able to interact with the blockchain as well through that website.
Yeah, and that's, again, a bit of a concept for people to get their head around, that their keys are safely on their hardware wallet, but they can still interact with the blockchain nice and safely, which is great.
Yeah, you actually, in order for the transaction to go through, you have to actually push a physical button.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So crypto winter has hit everyone hard, and ICOs are having to sell ETH, and EOS has taken a bit of a beating. It initially held up quite well, but are you guys seeing this washout period where survival of the fittest, people have to sell their EOS or their Warbly, whatever it is, to keep the lights on, and it is washing out the bad projects, and we want the good ones to be left at the end of this crypto winter?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a side fork of our business called EOSphere Dev, which is paid for professional services, dev work, and consulting. And the clientele just a little bit more nervous. It's harder to get paid for customers. But I don't know. You tell me, Alex. Why is everything tracking Bitcoin all the time? It's like every single cryptocurrency is just a shadow or a mirror of Bitcoin, and it's been tough. Hey, we've seen some amazing teams actually close down and lose staff. And when I say teams, I mean Gap teams and block producers. I mean some amazing talent that had to go somewhere else in order to make ends meet. I don't know if this little pump at the moment is short term. That's probably more of the TA kind of guy. But I hope that it keeps doing its thing and get us going. But it's definitely a winter, and everybody's taking a little bit of pain at the moment.
I think we have to get to that point where the number of people using dApps or using the tokens and being active in these projects outweighs all the bearishness. And once we have a few good announcements and, hey, we have thousands a day active users and they're using our token, all of a sudden people start to go, okay, and the good projects are going to come out the other end. Because at the moment, there's just... it's almost like that corpse, and nothing can sort of bring it back to life and get us on that uphill trajectory. Yeah.
Like I said, I see most of the utility on EOS at the moment being with games, and all sorts of different games, gambling and fun and, role-playing games. Gaming, even in hard times, people still need to have some recreational fun. So rather than speculating, just actually using it.
So for you guys, hopefully we're going to team up with Nuggets News a little bit, and we can help EOSphere get possibly elected. And what do you guys want to do if you get higher up that food chain, and in order to support the community and so on?
So the higher up the food chain, the more rewards we get, the more dApps that we can develop, the more tools that we can build, the more events that we can put on. And most of our whole mantra is about reinvesting rewards back into community and initiatives in order to grow the platform and get that adoption. So the more kind of good work that we can do. I mean, I know we wanted to do a lot of stuff with our website, and we wanted to do another Australian roadshow, but yeah, times are tough at the moment as far as finances. I come from a professional business world. All of my ex-colleagues, my friends, that they have a good laugh. I mean, how can you run a business purely on token holder sentiment and the market?
Mate, it's the same with YouTube views. It's the same with our premium group. It's all just at the mercy of the Bitcoin and altcoin price. But I'm looking forward to helping you guys. You're doing great work. There's plenty of EOS meetups. We'll put the links in the description below. But any final thoughts for people out there today, Ross?
A little bit of fun before Christmas. Ourselves, Emanate, Parcel, Warbly have put together a raffle, a little Christmas raffle where you can win some Parcel, Warbly, or Emanate tokens, and the proceeds are going to go through to a charity. So it's called Chris Mios. If you go through to our Twitter, it's the pinned tweet, and yeah, a nice little Christmas hamper that you can win before the end of the year will be a little bit of fun if you want to get involved.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks for joining us today, mate.
And vote for EOSphere.
Yes, and we will do a tutorial at some stage, guys, on how to do that from a Scatter wallet. So thanks for joining us today, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It was a pleasure.
Cheers, guys.